The US is not just withdrawing troops from Afghanistan. They are withdrawing them de facto, admitting the failure of their 20-year mission. The terrorist threat has not diminished. On the contrary, it increased many times after 2001, when the Americans entered it. The drug threat has increased by orders of magnitude. Moreover, in the West there are materials indicating the likelihood that American servicemen participated in the transportation of drug cargo. The main problem that you mentioned is that the threat of terrorist attacks is growing there. The Taliban are more belligerent, because the agreement that was reached presupposed the formation of a transitional government that would prepare the conditions for the formation of more stable state structures. Unfortunately, the leaders in Kabul are reluctant to organize something transitional. They are afraid that this will lead them out of their politically active activity. It turns out that they and the Americans, leaving from there, leave the situation to be resolved by force. The situation is aggravated by the fact that, in addition to the Taliban, recognized by everyone as part of Afghan society, as a result of slippage with the political process and the resumption of hostilities caused by them, niches are formed there, where the militants are no longer Taliban, but ISIS. Moreover, ISIS is deliberately, purposefully located in the northern provinces of Afghanistan, on the border with our allies. Some Afghan security forces and military personnel found refuge in Tajikistan. There are, in my opinion, more than 100. We are allies with Tajikistan in the framework of the CSTO. We have a military base there. If there is an attack on Tajikistan, it will be immediately subject to consideration by the CSTO. Representatives of the CSTO Secretariat visited the Tajik-Afghan border. The situation was considered following the visit at a meeting of the Permanent Council. Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke in detail over the phone in recent days with the leaders of Tajikistan and Uzbekistan, including and above all on this topic. We will fulfill our obligations. Then someone asked if we would send troops to Afghanistan. I think the answer is obvious.
Еще, пожалуйста, вопросы? Так, вон вижу. Так, пожалуйста, поднимите еще раз. Давайте.
Здравствуйте, уважаемый господин министр. Меня зовут Гауза Чен, я из Китая, магистрант Дальнего Восточного федерального университета. И у меня есть такой вопрос. Скажите, пожалуйста,
which Russian cities are now open to foreigners? Is quarantine necessary when entering Russia if vaccinated?
I cannot give you such information because I do not own it. It changes quickly enough. The operational headquarters monitors the real situation with the spread of coronavirus infection on a daily basis. I do not want to mislead you.
Спасибо. Да. Еще один вопрос.
In your speech, you mentioned that Russia traditionally diversifies its allies in the international arena. You mentioned Latin America. In your opinion, are Russian-Venezuelan relations really mutually beneficial for Russia, or is it more important for us to have opposition for the United States in the region?
No, this relationship is mutually beneficial. They originated under President Hugo Chavez almost 20 years ago. Then no one called Venezuela a rogue state, a center of authoritarianism, totalitarianism, and human rights violations. We had a calm, even relationship. President Hugo Chavez appreciated friendship with our country, personally with Russian President Vladimir Putin. First of all, we carried out projects in the oil sector. They were mutually beneficial. This cooperation continues, albeit in slightly different forms. We have to take into account the illegal unilateral sanctions that the United States has imposed against Venezuela, including against its oil business. There is nothing anti-American about our relationship with Venezuela. We firmly support Venezuela in the face of U.S. illegal actions. But this does not mean that we are friends with her only because we are doing it in spite of the United States. Not at all. We have repeatedly emphasized that if any country in Asia, Latin America, Africa, Europe offers us a joint mutually beneficial project, we never refuse to discuss such proposals. We do this solely out of mutual interest. Speaking about the current situation around Venezuela, we cannot but take into account that attacks, a diplomatic attack on it, accompanied by military sorties of armed formations from the territories of neighboring countries, is not only the desire of the West to change the regime in the country from independent to obedient, but also a reflection of the line of the West to replace international law with rules that he wants to impose on everyone else. As in the case with Syria, Cuba, Nicaragua, developing relations with these countries, in addition to mutually beneficial projects that we are trying to implement, we are still defending justice in the international arena, defending the UN Charter.
Еще, пожалуйста, вопросы?
Здравствуйте, Дмитриева Марина, преподаватель кафедры международных отношений. Спасибо большое за ваше выступление и внимание к нашему университету. И скажите, пожалуйста,
From the point of view of international relations, what hinders the development of the Far East and the realization of its great potential?
Nothing gets in the way. This is exactly what we are doing. I would say what else needs to be done additionally. First, to implement the plans that our state is adopting for the region. Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly said that the Far East requires priority attention. Secondly, to do so that external partners who come here help to implement our plans. I don't see anyone trying to hinder the development of the Far East. Those who do not want to work here, for God's sake, it is their choice. But there are more and more people willing to work here. I think such aspirations should be encouraged.